everyone! In this video, I'm going to explain the next 50 words from our advanced vocabulary. Don't forget to use these words in reading and writing modules. In this case, you can get higher score, over 7. Let's get started and look at these words.
Spacious. Spacious means having ample room or space. For example, the rooms are spacious and have 5 balconies with spectacular mountain views. Its synonyms are wide, capacious, and extensive. Perish. Perish means to die. For example, more than 50 million soldiers and civilians perished in the Second World War. Its synonyms are lose life and expire. Combustion. Combustion means the act or process of burning. For example, the widespread combustion of leaded gasoline is dangerous to society. Its synonyms are burning and flaming. Tempting. Tempting means attractive. For example, he was getting all sorts of tempting offers for a copy of the tape. Its synonyms are seductive, enticing, and alluring. Challenging. Challenging means testing one's ability, endurance, or something else. For example, you could have chosen a much safer, less challenging topic for your first attempt at a novel. Its synonyms are defying, provoking, and demanding. Renowned. Renowned means known or admired by a lot of people, especially for a special skill, achievement, or quality. For example, the classes he took became renowned for their excellence. Its synonyms are famous, celebrated, and noted. Oversee. Oversee means to watch to see that work is being properly done. For example, new staff brought into the chief executive's office will oversee the project. Its synonyms are supervise, superintend, and direct. Mandate. Mandate means to give authority or power to someone or something. For example, in the states that began to mandate paternity leave, a slightly greater number of fathers utilized it. Its synonyms are order, dictate, and command. Marginal. Marginal means small in importance or amount. For example, this marginal difference in formula makes no difference in this case. Its synonyms are borderline and insignificant. Meticulously. Meticulously means very carefully. For example, Steve was to spend the next 13 months meticulously planning every detail of the trip. Its synonyms are painstakingly, particularly, and scrupulously. Ornament. Ornament means something that decorates or adds grace or beauty to a person or thing. For example, if a man succeeds, a woman is the best ornament and symbol of his power and honor. Its synonyms are accessory, adornment, and decoration. Eternal. Eternal means lasting forever or without a beginning or an end. For example, after an eternal wait, my name was finally called to go in and have the procedure. Its synonyms are timeless, everlasting, and immortal. Identical. Identical means exactly similar in every respect. For example, she took into account the different ties and shirts and realized that the pair must be identical twins. Its synonyms are same, twin, and indistinguishable. Fabricate. Fabricate means to invent or make up a story or evidence. For example, she didn't try to invent or fabricate some explanation. Its synonyms are imagine, fake, and manufacture. Lament. Lament means to feel or express regret or sadness. For example, he began to lament the death of his only son. Its synonyms are sorrow, grieve, and mourn. Monetary. Monetary means belonging or relating to or consisting of money. For example, this makes it very clear that this industry plays a major role in monetary terms. Its synonyms are financial, fiscal, and pecuniary. Prolific. Prolific means producing many works. For example, he is one of the most prolific people out there in music right now. Its synonyms are productive, fertile, and fruitful. Latent. Latent means present or existing in an undeveloped or hidden form. For example, we were surprised at the response as well as the children's latent talents. Its synonyms are dormant, potential, and undeveloped. Hostile. Hostile means expressing enmity or aggression. For example, a couple of months before he died, he became very hostile, very angry, and he complained of horrible headaches. Its synonyms are inhospitable and unfriendly. Nocturnal. Nocturnal means happening or active at night. For example, she was reasonably nocturnal and could stay awake all night when really necessary. Its synonym is nightly. Palatable. Palatable means having a pleasant taste. For example, I would like to give her a tip to help make her suggestions more palatable. Its synonyms are appetizing, tasty, and savory. Rudimentary. Rudimentary means of or relating to basic facts or principles. For example, school inspectors' reports suggest that education was rudimentary. Its synonyms are basic, fundamental, and elementary. Devour. Devour means to eat up something greedily. For example, a medium-sized dog will devour at least 1 can of food per day. Its synonyms are gulp, swallow, and gorge. Predecessor. Predecessor means a person who formerly held a job or position now held by someone else. For example, 2 years ago, the competition authority decided to take up where its predecessor left off. Its synonyms are forerunner, antecedent, and forebear. Raid. Raid means to attack on a person, place, or something else to do damage. For example, the kids tend to raid the fridge when they get home from school. Its synonyms are attack and invade. Modulate. Modulate means to vary the strength or the nature of something. For example, members can modulate the controls or turn them off. Its synonyms are tune, adjust, and regulate. Expel. Expel means to drive or force out or away. For example, the party itself was forced to expel 3 members and sanction 1 other. For its synonyms are eject, dislodge, and remove. Obsolete. Obsolete means no longer in use or in practice. For example, gas lamps became obsolete when electric lighting was invented. Its synonyms are out of date, outmoded, and old-fashioned. Fidelity. Fidelity means faithfulness. For example, wanting fidelity implies you are thinking about a major relationship. Its synonyms are loyalty and dedication. Lucrative. Lucrative means affording financial gain. For example, her parents are still married when heavily focused on their lucrative careers. Its synonyms are gainful and profitable. Affluent. Affluent means having more than enough money. For example, they made jeans with holes in them when the more affluent groups got involved. Its synonyms are rich, wealthy, and well-off. Pandarus. Pandarus means slow and awkward because of great size and weight. For example, the response of university authorities has been slow and ponderous. Its synonyms are heavy and massive. Deformity. Deformity means an imperfection of the body, especially one that can be seen. For example, when spinal deformity, weakness, or immobility is present, height measurement is difficult and inaccurate. Its synonym is abnormality. Penetrate. Penetrate means to find a way into something. For example, unfortunately, he didn't have full access nor ability to penetrate the more remote regions of the country. Its synonyms are pierce, puncture, and go through. Compile. Compile means to collect or organize information. For example, I admit that some of the research documents used to compile the facts are quite old, though I presume that largely they still apply today. Its synonyms are put together, collect, and gather. Meager. Meager means lacking in quality or quantity. For example, its greatest weakness is its meager budget and limited scope. Its synonyms are scant, sparse, and thin. Eschew. Eschew means to avoid, keep away from, or abstain from something. For example, he eschewed violence and advocated alliance with the middle classes. Its synonyms are evade, escape, and avoid. Eternity. Eternity means time regarded as having no end. For example, a stone is also symbolic of eternity, like the cornerstone of a building, placed to last for all time. Its synonyms are perpetuity, infinity, and timelessness. Debilitate. Debilitate means to make someone weak or weaker. For example, as the disease progresses, it can debilitate a person by slowly eating away from the joint's cartilage and bone. Its synonyms are weaken and innervate. Aggravate. Aggravate means to make something worse. For example, military action would only aggravate the situation. Its synonyms are exacerbate, worsen, and bother. Compatible. Compatible means able to associate or coexist agreeably. For example, a different, more sourceful outcome was possible and entirely compatible with public attitudes. Its synonyms are agreeable, consistent, and harmonious. Chronic. Chronic means long-lasting, usually of gradual onset and often difficult to treat. For example, its people suffer from chronic malnutrition and a high annual population growth rate. Its synonyms are long-lasting, lingering, and continuing. Amenable. Amenable means ready to accept someone else's idea, proposal, advice, or guidance. For example, he has always been very amenable about having things done to him, and he seems to know it is good for him. Its synonyms are agreeable, receptive, and obedient. Fragile. Fragile means easily broken, shattered, or damaged. For example, the situation worsens and threatens the fragile peace and stability of an entire region. Its synonyms are brittle, feeble, and frail. Supreme. Supreme means highest in rank, power, or importance, most outstanding. For example, he worked on productions with supreme confidence and authority. Its synonyms are uppermost, prime, and excellent. Insanity. Insanity means the state of being insane. For example, there is something about this place that breeds great madness and insanity. Its synonyms are lunacy and madness. Prudent. Prudent means sensible and careful, especially by trying to avoid unnecessary risk. For example, a much more prudent approach would have helped prevent getting into this amount of debt. Its synonyms are wary, cautious, and discreet. Domesticate. Domesticate means to train an animal for life in the company of people. For example, the last 3 years have been a successful time for them, and success does tend to domesticate people. Its synonym is tame. Avail. Avail means to provide with something useful or desirable. For example, my daughter didn't avail herself of my advice. Its synonyms are benefit, pay, or profit. Rational. Rational means related to or based on reason or logic. For example, he sounded like he thought that was a complete, perfectly rational explanation. Its synonyms are logical, reasonable, and sensible.
So, it is the third part of our vocabulary, and by the way, you can also download the PDF file attached in the description box. Thank you for watching. See you.